Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from today. Thanks so much for joining us for today's Q&A session with the UB Full-Time MBA Faculty Director, Dr. Ian Tarrant. This session is intended for students interested in the on-campus full-time MBA program. Many of you submitted questions during the registration process, and we appreciate you taking the time to do so. We'll cover them during today's session before we open it up to other questions. I think we're going to cover a lot of those questions actually within the slide deck and the presentation today. And I'll answer a few frequently asked questions before we get started. Just a few housekeeping items. If you're willing to turn on your camera, please do. It's great to see your faces, but we completely understand sometimes that's not always the right time or mood to turn it on, but it's great to see your faces. Please type any questions that you have in the chat. We'll moderate that throughout the session. And then finally, please keep yourself on mute when someone's presenting, just so that everyone can hear the information being presented. This webinar is being recorded in about 1 week. We'll store it into our digital library, so you'll be able to rewatch it then, share it with any friends that are interested in the program to get additional information. And I also want to let you know, we offer lots of ways to stay engaged with us. We offer a weekly online virtual information session, one-on-one advisement appointments. We'll have virtual and upcoming on-the-road recruitment events. So we hope to see you again at a virtual event, but definitely it'd be great to see you on the road as well. So with that, I'm going to answer a few questions before I turn it over to Dr. Tarrant. A few people had asked if the GMAT or GRE was required. No, the UB School of Management uses a test optional admissions process. You can upload GMAT or GRE score reports to your application if you have a competitive score, but are not required to do so. We are test optional. Someone asked how long the program is and when classes begin. The program is 2 years in length and admits in the fall term. Our full-time MBA students take general management core courses during their first year, and most complete the credit-bearing internship over the summer, and then students focus into career-targeted electives in year 2. Is the program STEM? Yes, there is a STEM MBA curriculum, which provides an additional 24 months of optional practical training for a total of 36 months for F1 visa holders. A student had asked if there are course prerequisites and if work experience is required. No, there are not course prerequisites and work experience isn't required to apply. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Tarrant to provide some additional detail on what competitive applicants bring to the program highlights, benefits, and career outcomes. Dr. Tarrant, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. And give me a second here while I try and make this work to share my screen.
Okay.
All right, can you guys see? There should be a PowerPoint slide up there.
Looks great.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And thank you, Megan, for organizing this for us. I'm going to go through a few slides here to give you some information about the full-time MBA program at the University at Buffalo. Like Megan said, highlighting some things that we look for in applicants, what you might expect in your first year of the program, and then what you can get overall from being a member of our MBA program here at UB. Just for some bragging rights here quickly before we get started. These are some facts about the UB School of Management. And so we are the #1 business school or #1 ranked business school in the SUNY system. So SUNY stands for the State University of New York system. We are the flagship institution within SUNY. So we are the flag bearer within the SUNY system. We have a business school that is ranked in the top 10% of AACSB accredited business schools by Businessweek, US News and World Reports, and we are a top 25 public MBA by Forbes. One of the things that we are most proud of, though, is recently we were named the #5 school or program in the nation for return on investment. And so that's a really good highlight of how much you can get out of the program and what we bring to the table in terms of skills that you can develop and opportunities that are available for you after you exit the program as well. Oops. All right. So here's a preview of, not a preview, but this is what our full-time MBA class looked like last year. So we're in a bit of a weird position because we are still forming our incoming fall of 2025 class. So we don't have exact information about that cohort yet. So we're going to give you some demographic information about what the class looked like that started last year. And so this is pretty typical of most of our classes. The split between male and female was about 60-40. international versus domestic. International was right around 40%. Domestic students made up about 60% of our total cohort. The average age of students who began the program last year in the fall was 26. On average, they had a bit over 3 years of work experience. Although, like Megan said, work experience is not required. So we have people that come into the program without any work experience. And then we've got people who come into the program with 20 or so years of work experience. So that's an average. And then the average undergraduate GPA of students who started last year was about 3.35. This is a preview of what the curriculum looks like in the full-time MBA program. So we have a fairly prescribed curriculum in the first year of the program, and this is what year one looks like. So if you guys were interested in starting in fall of 2026, the light blue boxes that say fall there are the courses that you would take in your first semester in the program. So over the summer before you start, so around this time next year, you would be taking advantage of all of the opportunities that are available as part of our MBA Advantage, which is what we call our orientation programming that spans the entire summer. It's not like you are here on the ground. There's just Zoom meetings where information is delivered. We try and get you ready to go so you hit the ground running when you start in late August of what would be fall of 2026. So that's happening around this time next year. In the fall, we take our core courses that everybody takes in the MBA program and we break them so that they're not delivered over 15-week semesters like you would typically see as an undergraduate student. Instead, we have modules that are delivered over 7-week sessions. And so we take the full 15-week fall semester and break it into two halves, and you'll take courses in both the first half and the second half. The course that I actually teach is financial accounting, so you would have me as one of your first instructors in the program during the first 7 weeks of the fall semester. There's a winter break, and then you have the same structure in the spring semester of your first year, which would be spring of 2027. So there's classes that you take in the first 7 weeks and classes that you take in the second 7 weeks. The curriculum in the first year is prescribed, and so everybody is taking the same core courses. You are rotating through the program on those courses within cohorts, so you're working together with the same group. Seeing a lot of the similar or familiar faces rather every day in the program. There is room in the spring semester for an elective, and so you can take advantage of that. You can start thinking about what areas of business or what business domains you want to focus in and start building your schedule to gain experience in those areas. And then throughout your first year in the program, you have opportunities to engage in a program called Leader Core, which we'll discuss a little bit more later on in the presentation. And then once you start the program, even over the summer before you begin and you're here on the ground, you have access to our Career Resource Center, which is an award-winning career resource center that is specifically focused on serving the needs of business students. So we have a dedicated career services center here, and you could take advantage of the resources available from them immediately once you begin the program. And you start engaging in it as part of our MBA orientation programming over the summer. In your second year, you are free to do essentially whatever you would like in terms of business electives. So you can take electives in a variety of different areas. So there's focus areas in finance, there's classes in leadership, in human resources, in analytics, just all sorts of different areas that you can take elective credit in. This is what a typical schedule would look like in year two. This is assuming the student is a STEM eligible student, so they are enrolled in the STEM program. To be in the STEM program, you have to take a certain number of credits in classes that are designated as a STEM class. And so most of the electives that students in the STEM program will take are STEM electives, but there is room in the curriculum for you to take things outside of those more technical courses. You can still gain leadership skills, for example, less quantitative focused skills in things like human resources in that area. You'll also have the opportunity to participate in Leader Core during the second year in the program. And then during the second year, you still have opportunities to work with the Career Resource Center to help you start finding hopefully a long-term career and placing you after graduation. Those areas that you can focus in, so those elective courses that you take, we have a variety of different focus areas in different topics or domains within business so that you can specialize in an area and you can really focus your attention on becoming a master of a particular domain. So this is the list of focus areas that we offer. So for instance, if you're interested in finance, we have a curated list of finance courses that we recommend you take. If you want a career in that area, you would choose whatever collection of them that interests you the most. And as long as you satisfy the minimum number of credits in that focus area, you can tell people that you have focused in, for instance, finance or international marketing or consulting or analytics or whatever area that you have an interest in. We are continuously developing new focus areas as well. So there might be a new one that pops up here next year that you can take advantage of. But for right now, this is the list of focus areas. And you can focus in more than one area as well. So in the schedule, or in your schedule rather, you will frequently have the opportunity to focus in up to two different areas. And so you might be interested in both finance and consulting. And so you can take classes that would satisfy both of those focus areas. In addition to having just our core general MBA degree and our core STEM MBA degree, we also have a number of collaborative degree programs. So if you are interested in pursuing another graduate degree while you're here with us as part of your MBA program, we have partnerships with other degree programs across campus. If you are currently an undergraduate student at UB, then we have what are called combined undergraduate and MBA programs. So you can actually be dual enrolled as an undergraduate and graduate student and satisfy requirements for both degrees simultaneously. So we've got combined degree programs with our own business undergraduate students and with engineering students in a variety of different engineering domains. We also have combination degree programs with, for example, JD. So if you have an interest in going into a career in law, that might be something that you want to pursue or look into. We have programs with, dual degree programs with architecture, with our School of Medicine, public health, social work, pharmacy. We've got all sorts of different collaborative opportunities for you if you are interested in going down that route. There are another set of opportunities that are available for students here, depending on what interests you long term. So if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you might want to take advantage of opportunities that are available through what's called our collab. And so you'll have a lot of information about collab on our website if you want to explore that more in depth, but this is an opportunity for people who really want to go down an entrepreneurship route. We've also got an opportunity called project clinics, and that's where you're going to work together in a team to help local organizations on various project needs that they have. And so they rely on our students here to help them solve problems that they face every day. I can see here there's a list of some partners that we've had over the last year or so and project that students have helped those organizations work through. We also have what's called global programs here. And so these are effectively, you can think of them as mini study abroad opportunities. And so we have both global programs trips, so opportunities to study and visit international locations, and then also domestic travel opportunities as well. So these are classes that introduce you to various issues across the globe or within the United States. You work on real world projects within those classes, and then you have an opportunity to travel internationally if it's a global trip, or domestically if it's what's called an Experience the 50 trip. And so in the past, we have sent students to Italy. They've gone to Costa Rica. We've sent them to various locations in South America and Europe. And so there's lots of opportunities to experience business domains in an international setting. And then also we have opportunities for you to travel and study issues within the United States as well. So we've had students who have worked with partners in Chicago, in New York, in Los Angeles, and various other locations across the country. Two opportunities that are really important to our MBA students and that a lot of them participate in or one of them that a lot of students participate in is what's called our Leader Core program. So this is a micro-credential that allows you to develop executive level leadership skills. And so you get matched with a leadership coach who works with you throughout your time in the program to develop those leadership skills. If you successfully complete the Leader Core program, which is a series of courses that runs over the entire time that you were enrolled in the MBA program, you can get a micro-credential, and then you can use that on your LinkedIn profile, for example. It's a really nice thing to talk about in terms of or to put on your resume and talk about in interviews and that sort of thing. And that's one of the pillars of our program here is this Leader Core. Another pillar is what we call corporate champions. And so corporate champions is a program that we have where immediately once you enter the MBA program, we're going to put you on a team. And then you will work with those same individuals on that team throughout your first year in the program. Once we form those teams, we also assign you what we call a corporate champion, which is a local partner that we work with. Often it's an organization that recruits our students full time after they graduate as well. And you immediately start to get to be able to network with those individuals within that organization. You're going to go on a site visit with them to do leadership interviews with their upper level management and executive level management team. I mean, it's a great way to start the program and immediately begin networking. And then we also, within that Corporate Champions program, we have our teams compete in a case study in the first 7 weeks of the program. And so you'll be developing skills in courses like communications, in organizational behavior, in statistics that you can use to participate in that case study program. And then we also award a cup. So it's an actual trophy that we award to the team who wins at the end of that 7 week period. So that's a really exciting opportunity that we have that a lot of schools don't. And so we immediately start to be able to network and form a network in the Western New York area, and then also expand that domestically through those partnerships that you're going to start developing with that corporate champion. Just a little information here about some alumni success that we've had through our MBA program. So we have over 300,000 alumni across 150 countries across the world. We've got over 48,000 management alumni across 87 different countries. Down there's some pictures and information about some of our alumni success stories. And you can find a lot more information about these individuals and other alumni by visiting our website. So I know that's a tiny little QR code down there, but you can scan it and get some information about what we have in terms of an alumni footprint across the world. And then finally here, one of the last slides I want to talk to you a little bit more about is our Career Resource Center. So I mentioned that once you start participating in our orientation programming at this point next summer, you immediately have access to what we call the CRC, or the Career Resource Center. You will be linked together with a career success coach. And so that person will help you navigate trying to find an internship and then eventually trying to find full-time employment once you start moving through the program. So depending on what your interests are, so if you have an interest in finance or analytics or information security, we will place you with an individual within the Career Resource Center who has a network and who is an expert in that field and will help you navigate the process of securing an internship and then full-time employment once you graduate. This is something that a lot of schools don't have, and we are the only school within UB that has its own dedicated career center. And so this is one of our bragging rights as well. And so you immediately get linked up with these resources and opportunities once you start our orientation programming next year. This is an example of what you might see as you work with the Career Resource Center. So they will provide you with the tools that are necessary to be successful in your job search. So like, for instance, how to work and structure your resume in such a way that is appealing to recruiters and people who are going to be reviewing your resume, and also reviewing the resume of hundreds of other applicants as well, right? So they will give you the tools to be successful in that search. They have organizations come in and provide talks and technical events so that our students can network with those recruiters and see what opportunities are available within those organizations, both locally and across the country. And so they're not all in person, because we do have organizations that recruit from other parts of the United States as well, and internationally. They will provide you with career advising. Again, there are career events, and then ultimately they are trying to help you secure a job after you graduate. Here are some of the employers that hired our graduates for the class of 2024. So I mentioned that we're in sort of a weird place because we are still forming the incoming class of 2025 that'll join us in a couple months. And we are still collecting information about employment outcomes from the students who just graduated in May of this year. So this information is slightly stale, but it does give you an idea of where we were able to place our students who graduated in May of 2024. So we had students who are now working with Amazon. They're working at Deloitte, which is a public sorry, I can't think of the word right now. They are a a services organization. They provide professional services to a variety of different organizations globally. We have students who have worked and were hired by General Mills and Google, HSBC, M&T Bank. So these are organizations that are prominent in both the Western New York area, but then also nationally and globally as well. So the average salary of students who graduated in May of 2024 was around $85,000, and the high base salary that we had for those graduates was $225,000. Okay, so from here, I'm going to turn it over to Megan, and she's going to give you some information about critical deadlines for applying to our program to begin next year.
Great. Thanks so much, Dr. Tarrant. Thank you for all the great information. There's a few questions in the chat. I think I caught up with all of them. Feel free to type additional questions here as well. During the registration process, people submitted questions about what are the deadlines, what are the requirements, so I wanted to make sure we covered those. So our fall 2026 application is open. Our first deadline will be October 15th. So you can follow this chart to see our application deadline, when you can expect a decision notification, and also when we would expect your $500 tuition deposit to be received to confirm your seat in the program. Our next deadline, January 15th, this is an important deadline to keep in mind and save the date. This is our priority deadline for scholarship consideration. So we do offer merit-based scholarships to our domestic and international accepted students. They are merit-based. It's a competitive process, but in order to be considered for these opportunities, you need to have your application fee and all materials in by January 15th. Our final deadline for international applicants will be March 15th, 2026. We'll accept applications from U.S. citizens and applicants in the U.S. on a current F1 visa on April 15th. And then our final domestic deadline will be June 1st. All of this information is on our MBA program website as well, but hopefully it can kind of help you manage your timeline in terms of getting all of your materials in, when you'll receive a decision, and then when the tuition deposit would be due. Next slide, please. Thank you. In terms of admissions requirements, it's an online application. I will be hosting some application workshops in the coming months, so look for those. We'll send you additional information. If you have questions, it's pretty straightforward, but we'll go through the application workshop. It is a $100 application fee. You should really think about the application fee as an investment in yourself and your future career trajectory. We probably will offer some application fee waiver promotions throughout the year, but the application fee is currently required. It's $100. You'll have to upload transcripts. If there's any University of Buffalo students on the call, you'll also upload your AAR, your Academic Advisement Report. You'll need to upload your resume. Our Career Resource Center has a wonderful resume. There's also a lot of great free resources you can take advantage of now, but you can find the resume template specifically for MBA at management.buffalo.edu/resume. So definitely a great resource to check out. The most important thing on your resume is you really want to highlight your skills and work experience. So for each full-time position that you've had, be sure to note the month and year start date and then the month and year end date. And then obviously if you're currently working, the start date to present. We also require a career objectives essay. This, we're not going to word count it, but 700 words is probably a good length. Really talk about your short and long-term career goals and also how specifically the UB MBA program can help you reach those goals. Admissions interviews are by invitation only, and as I mentioned previously, we are test optional. We do not require the GMAT or GRE. However, if you have a strong score report and you wish to upload it, you can definitely upload it for the committee to review. We have a faculty admissions committee that reviews applications holistically. So put your best foot forward, make it the best representation of yourself because the committee will review everything holistically. Next slide, please. Okay, international applicants. Obviously, you need to be eligible for graduate admission, so you must have earned a bachelor's degree prior to enrolling in this program. We do require an English language proficiency exam. You can upload a score report. For the TOEFL, our preferred score is 95. However, we've admitted students obviously below that score and above that score, but there's a lot of teamwork, as Dr. Tarrant mentioned in the MBA program, so we look for 95. The university's minimum overall score on the IELTS is 6.5, And then the university's minimum overall score for the DET or Duolingo is 120. In the chat, I listed information about the English language requirement and also criteria. We also would require you to upload your proof of degree or provisional certificate if that hasn't been issued yet. You'll need to upload your passport photo page and make sure when you're completing the application that it matches the name as it's indicated on your passport. And then if admitted, immigration materials will be required and we'll walk you through next steps if admitted. Okay, so I do want to reiterate that UB is an excellent investment. We were ranked fifth by Bloomberg Businessweek in terms of fast return on investment that our program provides our graduates. So to be ranked fifth in the nation for ROI, we're pretty proud of that. UB is also ranked 25th most affordable university in the US by Credit Summit. There's a low cost of living in Western New York. In addition to the merit-based scholarship opportunities that we have, there are assistantship opportunities. So students need to be admitted and deposited to be able to access those assistantship and on-campus employment opportunities. They're generally posted through our university's Career Design Center. And then again, as Dr. Tarrant messaged, we have a phenomenal career resource center called the CRC in the School of Management, where each of our students has a dedicated career advisor. In addition, students have access to search positions and post their resume through the university's Career Design Center as well. So talking about tuition, yep, next slide, please. Tuition and fees. So when we're looking at in-state, this information was just updated in July. SUNY provides tuition and fee updates every July. So this is as current as we have it for July 2025. So the estimated total cost of the program for New York State residents is $38,715. Again, merit-based scholarships are available for our domestic and international students. They are merit-based. Next slide, please. Non-resident international tuition fees are $69,215. When we are looking at merit-based scholarships, we have a committee. We are reviewing admitted applicants and really looking at what they bring to the table in terms of GPA, work experience, progressive work experience, how they'll contribute to the program, leadership opportunities, volunteer work. It's a whole mix that we look at. Again, scholarships are reviewed holistically, just like the admissions application is. There is no separate application to apply for our merit-based scholarships. Whatever materials you submit for your admissions application is what is reviewed for merit-based scholarship consideration. Again, the deadline for merit-based scholarships is January 15th. So that's the deadline that you want to have everything in to be eligible and considered for merit-based scholarships. Again, students can apply for assistantships and on-campus employment once they are admitted and also have paid their $500 tuition deposit to be able to have access to the UB Career Design Center and search those postings there. Admissions offers are separate from financial offers, from scholarship offers. So first, you'll receive an offer of admission, but we really do try to submit the scholarship offers closely to the decision notification. But the offer of admission will be separate from the scholarship offer, but we try to pair those very closely so you have all the information that you need to make that decision. Our merit-based scholarships generally range from $5,000 annually to $15,000 annually. And I always encourage students, sometimes a student will come back and say, oh, I got this scholarship from this program, it's a big scholarship. Well, then when you actually do the math, UB still provides the better return on investment and the better value. So again, to be considered for these opportunities, apply, submit your complete application by January 15th. Okay. I think that's it for slides. So now we can definitely take additional questions. Again, I do want to advise that while Dr. Tarrant provided the information for our class of 2024, due to our accreditation, we actually collect salary data 3 months post-graduation. So we'll be able to share that at some point in October, and we'll be back with additional information on that. And we always post it on the website as well. So at this point, let's open it up for additional questions. Feel free to type them into the chat or unmute yourself. We're small enough if you want to unmute yourself. We'll cover off on any questions you might have.
Hi.
Sure. Hello. Hi.
Yes. So my name is Kwasi. Yes. So I have a question for you. So I'm attending for a friend. So you mentioned that the video will be um, yeah, available. I didn't hear the link that you mentioned.
Sure. Well, that's so nice for you to attend for a friend. We will record and transcribe this video, so it will be available in the digital library in about 1 week's time. So if you go to our management.buffalo.edu website,
Okay.
we have a digital library and it will be shared there in about a week.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Okay, Edison, I know that you had emailed me yesterday and I sent you a follow-up email. So at this point, you need to send me the information I requested in the email for consideration for fall 2025. At this point, fall 2025 applications are closed, and it would be up to our faculty admissions committee to determine if they're going to accept any late applicants. So go ahead and follow up with the email and we can consider that. Any additional questions? Okay, so before we end today, I do want to let you know we will do this session throughout, the fall semester into the spring. There's always new information to share. We'll also have a lot of different other webinars talking about different opportunities that you'll avail yourself to when you're a UB MBA student. We'll include some current students, academic advising, career advising. Again, we have weekly information sessions where we go through all MBA program information, so feel free to join at one of those. We'll have that recording in the digital library soon as well, so you can watch it on demand. And we also have one-on-one advising appointments. So they're generally 15 minutes. So if you've reviewed information on the website or you've attended a session and you still have questions, you can always feel free to schedule a one-on-one with me. I work directly with our full-time MBA and our online MBA students. So you can always reach out to me with any questions. I'm going to post my email in the chat so that you have it, because I definitely hope that we can continue the conversation from here. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Tarrant to close us out today.
All right, thank you very much. And I just want to reiterate everything that Megan said. So we are happy to help answer any questions that you might have. So I'll put my email address in the chat as well. Well, I'll do that in a second here because I can't type and talk at the same time. But we are very excited to have you guys potentially join us next year for our incoming fall of 2026 cohort. The MBA program at UB is an exceptional opportunity for you. So if you're looking to really transform your life and set yourself on potentially an entirely new trajectory, then this is the program for you. You'll get hands-on experience in pretty much every business domain that there is, and there is incredible resources and support that's available through the UB MBA program. So we are excited to have you guys apply and hopefully join us next year. And again, if there's anything we can do to help you out, please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day.